Gringo Americans making tacos in the afternoon outside of Pittsburgh, which is nowhere near Mexico. Gringo Americans open a restaurant, really popular. They make tacos, gorditas, chalupas, and you can fill up your stomach on the cheap.
Wow.
Hey, Dave.
No, Dave here.
No.
What are you doing?
Putting us in the mood?
Why are you dressed like you're from Mexico or something?
Man, I'm from East LA.
Why?
We're making tacos. So I thought I'd put us in the mood with some flamenco guitar.
Oh, it's Taco Tuesday.
On a Saturday or Sunday or
Sure.
Monday but today.
Okay. Well, let's make tacos. Let's put this away.
You sure? Man, listen to this fantastic flamenco.
Okay. I'm sorry. You're not very good at all at this. It's good that you can cook, because this, yeah.
So don't quit my day job.
Any job. Don't kick. No, none of them.
Fine. All right, we'll cook.
All right, let's do it. Tacos.
Tacos. Let's do them.
Now, how you like your tacos? Like ground beef tacos?
You know, in a pinch, but that's just like the go-to for everybody. It's always ground beef,
Yeah.
shredded iceberg lettuce, a mealy tomato, bad corn
This
tortillas.
sounds like a 99-cent menu.
Absolutely. Metallic cheese. You know, the stuff that kids
Sure.
won't even eat.
Sure.
In a pinch, yeah, you know, you can do them. You can do them a lot better than that. But if we're going to do tacos, let's do tacos.
If I have a choice, I'd rather have steak than ground beef.
Like a carne asada?
Yeah, man.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
Chicken's a good one.
It's my favorite way to
What
do
else?
it.
What
I
else?
love chicken. But my wife loves fish tacos.
Fish tacos can be good. Yeah.
Yep. And then I've had shrimp tacos before.
Shrimp.
That were incredible.
Baja shrimp tacos, man.
Yeah.
That's where it came from. They're good.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're fantastic.
So we're gonna go all out. We're gonna make all kinds of tacos.
Yeah. You know, another thing I love to do if I'm making Mexican food, I like to have refried beans,
Well, yeah. Got to.
which is what I made there. Some
That's
refried
that.
beans. Absolutely.
Ooh, yeah. These look good. They smell fantastic. See, now I'm already hungry.
So we'll start to borrow with
Yeah,
that. You know, if we're making it from scratch. Let's make it from scratch. So we'll
Yeah.
do what with the Bajas. It's got to have a pico.
Yeah, we can do 2 picos. We'll do like a pico de gallo. But
Mhm.
then for the seafood, you know, if somebody wants to go crazy, then we do something like a pineapple pico,
Oh,
something
yeah.
like that, right? Where it's a little more citrusy.
Absolutely. And I've got a great recipe for a vinegar slaw. That's not a sweet slaw. It really complements like
Okay.
a fried halibut. What
So-
kind of fish do you like to use?
You know, white fish. I like a white flaky fish in there myself. So I mean, you know, I've seen tilapia, things like that on there a lot of times, and that's fine. I prefer something like a mahi
I just happen to have some mahi.
well, there you go.
So that'd be good. And shrimp, just regular shrimp, not the big jumbo prawns or anything. Just a normal
No, I
31
don't,
count
I
or
don't
something
think
like
that.
that.
Yeah, I don't think that matters so much. You know,
Right.
just good shrimp, man.
Okay.
It sounds like we have a little bit of a plan now.
Yeah. Well, I say let's
Let's
cook.
Let's
get
get
some
this
stuff
out of the
together.
way, and,
Yeah.
and we can.
All right, so we're gonna make a vinegar slaw on this one. There's this restaurant up here in Pittsburgh that puts slaw on their sandwiches, and I love it. And it doesn't have a sweet flavor like there's this chicken restaurant known for their sandwiches, and they had a sweet slaw before they got rid of it. But that's a really good one, but it doesn't fit, I don't think, for the fish. So I start with 4 different kinds of vinegar. I have balsamic vinegar, red wine vinegar, cider vinegar, and white vinegar.
Okay.
This is a by feel. So, I mean, I can tell you try to do like a tablespoon here, tablespoon there. If it needs a little bit more,
Sure.
then do a little bit more. But ultimately,
You taste and
Yeah,
adjust
taste and
and
add.
get your acid level right. And
yeah. Apple cider vinegar, man, I tell you what, always get the one that's got the mother in it, the raw unfiltered. It just tastes better. It supposedly has some health properties as well. You know, I mean, I don't know.
The mother freaks people out, though. You know, sometimes,
I know, right?
But it's
supposed
to be there.
Yeah.
It's always tough when it's a brand new
Brand new douse about 4 gallons of
Try not to make a mess with it. You know.
Next thing I like to do
vinegar.
Some celery seed.
All right. Just a sprinkling on top there.
Yeah, not too much.
Just what, maybe half teaspoon, something like that.
Yeah, that says about right. And then I put some celery salt. It's more finely ground, but it has a salt in it too.
Sure.
Let's see here. Onion powder. Should be good there. A little onion powder next. Now, sometimes I've seen people put actual celery and onion in it.
Yeah.
I've done it before. I just don't do it for this particular recipe. It's just not my fave.
You know, whatever your thing is.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
you like it in there. You carrots, see carrots in there all the time.
So we're going to do some fresh pepper. And then a little binder. I'm going to put some mayonnaise in here.
Sure.
Not much though, because I don't want a thick mayonnaise-y base, so maybe like about a good 2 tablespoons.
Just enough to pull it all together.
Yeah, exactly. Let's stir that in a little bit.
And this is gonna have to sit for a while.
Yeah, it needs to marinate.
So if you're making this, you know, it should be one of the things you make first.
Right.
Right. I mean, this is gonna sit for how long? At least an hour. Right?
Yeah, I would like to go for at least an hour. And you know, the longer the better. You know, if it sits overnight, it's even more flavorful.
Perfect.
Yeah. You know, if you get a little bit of reserve down on the bottom of this, it's really not that big a deal.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a little bit of the vinegar and of the good stuff. And that right there is basically it. So we'll.
It smells good.
Yeah, we'll put that in. We'll test this after it's had a little chance to sit.
Right.
And then you can add a little bit more salt to it, a little bit more pepper.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there.
Fair flush about it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. So let's make some pico.
Pico de gallo it is. And this is just your traditional one, right? This isn't anything funky.
Okay. So what does that mean?
I use tomatoes,
All right.
red onion, cilantro, pickled jalapenos, dash of lime, and maybe a little bit of salt and pepper.
All right. Now how fine you want these onions?
I like them chopped diced pretty fine.
Pretty small. I'll do my best, sir.
I have faith in you.
But you know, one of the keys is if you start with a tomato that's unripe,
Oh, yeah.
or a you know, a onion that's no good, or whatever, you know, everything has to be fresh and not just fresh, ripe.
Right.
I mean, it's more than just freshness. It's the ripeness part that really just when you're making simple food with just a couple ingredients.
Well, let me ask you a
Each
question
ingredient,
about that,
man.
then. I know some people that, you know, they'll ask me, well, how do you know it's ripe? I mean, because you go to the grocery store and you see a red tomato, they're going to assume, well, it must be ripe. The grocer is selling it to me. So
Yeah,
how do you check it? How do you know? Yeah.
So really, you are looking at color, right? But you don't want necessarily the firmest tomato that they have. If it's really hard,
Right.
it's going to be really hard in the middle too. I mean, you're not looking for mushy. You're kind of looking for in between. Like these guys are. There's a little give when you press on them. You can tell they're not rocks in the middle.
Yeah.
You know?
I found consistently the ones that I've been using, and I go on them just because if I come across a tomato that is, you know, consistently ripe, I may stick with that. And the Campari tomato is one that I found.
Yes, I really like those. You know, I have a lot of times I'll have some successful aroma tomatoes at the grocery store. Unfortunately, the beautiful tomatoes, the big,
Like a big beefsteak or
yeah,
Better
the
Boys.
beefsteaks or whatever. I'm disappointed so many times, and you get in and it's just that mealy, not wonderful tomato inside. Yeah, sometimes, at the grocery store, to be fair, you'll find they have some heirlooms.
Yeah.
And those can be good.
I think people get scared of those because they're ugly.
Yeah, they're irregular in shape and they're, weird colors and all that sort of stuff, but they have a great flavor. If you're looking, if what's important to you is that flavor, man, you can't beat that.
What about now? Some of the vegetables, it seems pretty obvious. Like if you know that you think you've got a ripe tomato anyway, and you pick it up and you smell it.
Oh, sure, there's a smell to it, man. If there's no smell to it, it's. I guarantee you that thing is not going to be good. It's.
Yeah.
You got to remember, you get when you're eating food, you're not just tasting with your taste buds. A lot of the flavor that you're experiencing and enjoying is coming from your nose.
Absolutely.
And if it doesn't smell good in the first place, it's not like it's gonna suddenly get better when you get home.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But if it's got that great smell and you oh man, that's a great smell of tomato. You get that tomato smell, right? But strong and good. Guess what? That tomato's gonna taste that way. And that's use your sense. You got to use all your senses when you go to the grocery store. So what we got in here? We got some tomatoes. We got the onions. We got a little cilantro. You chopped up
some pickled jalapenos.
We got a little lime. Ooh, and I made earlier. I'm going to show you this while we're doing this. This was like this will be our like citrusy sort of version, right? So this is just some fresh pineapple, some bell pepper. I got that Epilo smoked pepper.
Yeah.
From Penzeys.
Penzeys Spices, absolutely.
And saute that up. You basically, when you first put it in the pan, a lot of liquid's going to release from the pineapple. Just let it release, and then give it a stir every once in a while. And once all that liquid has become kind of syrupy and is sticking to everything again, it's done. Take it off, throw a little cilantro in, mix it up.
Boom.
Maybe a hint of salt. Maybe even your sweet stuff, a little salt, just not enough to make it salty.
Yeah,
not
just
to
enough
open
to bring the
flavors.
flavors.
Just open the flavors.
Another thing that I like to put in the pico de gallo is a little bit of chili powder. Just a little bit, not much, but just enough to accent the flavors.
Yeah, and you just what you like. Cook what you like. A little cumin.
And then this is to me this is a hand mixer. You can feel you get to juice it up just a little bit.
A lot of things are hand mixers, and people are afraid to use their hands. Just wash your hands.
Exactly.
There are so many times where the hand is the right tool, and you're using something that's inferior to what you were given. Makes no sense. It smells great.
That's so basic and so fresh.
And so good.
It's
gonna be great on our tacos, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get the fish cooking.
Fish for
shrimp
fish tacos. And shrimp. Okay,
Yeah,
so we've got
right.
to the seafood portion now.
Yes. So we got our mahi. Right. It looks nice. Little pieces. Doesn't matter how big they're. Matter of fact, this is a good thing to use like the tail pieces for, because they're not quite big enough to be entrees, but that's perfect. A little lemon juice. I washed my hands so to catch my seeds.
Oh yeah,
I just
just get a good coating of the lemon juice all over the fish.
Yeah, man, and heck yeah, I lost one seed. I'm not all that worried about it.
And that lemon really accents the mahi well.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of get that lemon all over it. Yes, sir. Get out of there. Bam. Yeah. Then nature seasoning. Morton nature seasoning. It's no reason to reinvent the wheel. And just a little coating of that. Bam, bam, bam. A little coating of that. Then we're going to pop it in the oven. We got a hot oven. I think we're at what, like 375, 400, something like that. In 10 minutes maybe. at the most.
Do you have to flip it or anything, or just let it go?
I would just let it go, and if these are thicker pieces of fish, they might take a little bit longer. But these are thinner; they're not going to take long at all in there. So we can throw it in there and get going. And now we're going to start some shrimp.
Sounds great.
All right, so let's get our shrimp going, man. So I got our shrimp. I put a little bit of just chopped garlic, right? And I made a little special blend of seasoning. This is just, these were all Penzi stuff. It was their Southwest seasoning. And I added a little of the apple pepper, which has got that smoky spice to it.
Yeah.
And a little bit smoked paprika. So I think we're going for like a garlicky, smoky pepper with a little bit of hint of citrus kind of flavor.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah, I think that would be good, man. And anyway, so we're just going to work all that into it. And we're just going to saute it up. It's going to be good. All right.
Ooh, you can smell that smokiness.
Yes, definitely. All right, you want to pull that pan
Yeah,
on there?
absolutely.
I'm going to wash my hands and we'll get started cooking this. All right, so we're going to get this thing hot, yeah?
Get this nice and hot.
Yeah, we want to, we're not afraid of heat here. And a little olive oil. How much olive oil? I don't know. Coat your pan.
Enough to get a good
Yeah,
sear fry thing going on, right?
I mean, it's coating and olive oil is it's a flavor.
It is a flavor, and again, of the oils, it's a healthier oil, so I never worry about getting a little bit too much olive oil in it. No big deal.
Exactly. And so let the pan get hot, and I mean I always learn, just my way of knowing when my oil is hot is I watch for ripples.
It's a good idea.
As it warms up, as it gets hot, you'll actually see like little shimmery ripples across the top. That's when it's ready to go in there.
I'm going to stick the fish in the oven.
Yeah, man, it looks like it's hot and ready, so we're at 400, about 8-10 minutes, and we'll be good there. Once this thing gets hot, we're going to add these. We're going to finish. Now, I didn't add the citrus to this yet. I was thinking once it's done, like 90% cooking, we'll hit it with a little lime juice, and then right at the end, some fresh cilantro. I don't like cooking the heck out of the cilantro.
No, it's a fresh herb, so it should go in to finish instead of cooking. If you're gonna, one thing that I'd heard is that if you're gonna cook with herbs, cook with dried herbs. If you're gonna cook for a long time, the fresh herbs should be finishing herbs, because that's where most of the flavor is gonna come. Is at the end when the dish is already almost there. It'll pull the last little bit of like dill or tarragon or chervil and things like that. It pulls it out then.
Even basil. I mean, the oil. It's the essential oils that are in there that give you that great flavor, and they're really volatile.
Mm-hmm.
They're sensitive to heat, real sensitive to heat.
So, my first experience with Taco Tuesday was, I think, the originator of the taco. I think his name was Del Taco. Do you remember? He had a chain of restaurants there for a while, and we would always go in and looking for Del, but they always said that Del was not there.
I heard he got eaten by a dog, small dog.
The small dog, maybe a Mexican Chihuahua?
Yes, a Chihuahua.
Yeah. Okay then. So that's probably not correct.
No, that's. It was miners. That were.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think it goes back further than that. Like you can go back to before the Spanish or any of those people, came to Mexico. They were making something like the taco, but with fish, and it didn't really. You wouldn't recognize it as a taco even today.
Sure.
But that's kind of where the origin came from. And then the more modern taco came from the miners.
Like the ones in West Virginia?
Yes, the West Virginia coal miners. No.
Oh.
The Hispanic guys.
Oh, okay. So like the Mexican
guys
miners.
from Mexico that would eat the tacos. But they came up and were working mines, and that was a easy way to get a meal that you could hold in your hand.
Sure.
And get right back to work, which a lot of food has come about because of things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Be able to work with one hand, eat with the other. Yeah,
it's
so
amazing.
stop.
I think this is.
Ooh, that's nice.
That's definitely nice and hot. So we're gonna add our shrimp. And I'm gonna try to just space them out best I can. Smells good.
One time I was in Tijuana, and I actually had a tacos trapitas, and I don't speak any Spanish,
Right.
So it was a little cart vendor, and
That sounds good.
and I was like, well, yeah, they smell fantastic, they look good. All of the locals were eating off of this cart, so I ate some and came back home and asked a friend of mine who was from Jalisco, Mexico. I asked him, I said, hey man, what are the trapitas? And he was like, oh, you know what a pig is? I said, yeah. He goes, it's the stomach of a pig. And I was like, you mean tripe? And he was like, yeah, fantastic stuff.
Yep, that's absolutely true. And you put the right spices on there. I mean, it's a part of why people started using spices. I mean, you go way back when there's no refrigeration, there was none of that stuff, right? You want to make something taste better. Maybe it's not rotten, but not really tasting its best.
So yeah, you want to be able to get somebody to be able to.
Well, spice can go a long way, and you know, not to say that that's the only reason it's used, because obviously that's not the case.
But sure, but I mean, I think people probably, mother of invention. You know, what I mean,
Well, sure.
that's what they needed to do. Ooh, mahi looks good.
Mahi's looking good.
It is looking good. Maybe
Our shrimp's looking good too, man. I'm gonna hit this with a little bit of lime juice now.
I think the mahi is good. It's flaky.
Oh man, this is smelling good in here. Good, good, good. Ooh boy.
Could smell good too.
All right.
Oh, look at that.
So look at that, man. That's just beautiful.
We'll grab a little bit extra heat right there. Maybe a little splash of that'll go in there too.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, look at the shrimp, and they look good. You know, they didn't shrink up tiny. You ever seen those? The shrimps will just. That's
Well,
got to keep a good size.
Yeah, they're good size. You know, sometimes they shrimp. They'll shrink. Well, the fishermen sometimes will soak them in a mixture to
Fluff them up?
Well, you know, it's supposed to keep them juicy. But when you go and cook it, all of that comes back out of it.
So the dehydration. So when it gets small, it's basically just dehydrated.
When you go to say a store and they got a ridiculous deal on shrimp, and you get home and you cook it and they were this big and then they cook down to like that. The reason it was such a good deal is because they made them look bigger than they were by soaking them and
That makes sense.
filling them with liquid.
So just a marketing trick to sell.
Yeah, and you see it. It's not just shrimp. It happens with scallops as well, for sure.
Yeah.
As well as other seafood items, especially. These are looking about done, man. I
Those
think
are delicious.
we can hit it with a little bit of that cilantro, and I'll put the cilantro on while it's hot,
Right.
just to kind of activate that oil, the essential oils in it, mix them in. But then I'm gonna take it off the flame. I don't want.
Oh, that added so much. Oh man.
I might just skip the shells and just start
That's,
eating
yeah, you could just eat that
right out of
pan.
here. That
That's
looks fantastic.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I think we're.
It's about time to eat.
I think it's about time to eat, man.
I'm hungry.
I mean, I'm telling you, dude. Check this out. So you kicked some wicked mahi and some dynamite shrimp.
Got some shrimp. We got mahi. Yeah. What else we got going on here?
We got some carne asada beef,
Okay. Yeah.
which basically is just oil and orange juice and garlic, cilantro, cumin, and then it marinates overnight, and then it was put in a crock pot to just let that
So that's
meat
slow cook. Slow
break
cook.
down. Yeah,
So with the
7
lime juice,
hours.
you have to add any like sweet,
Then, a little bit of honey.
a little bit of honey.
Yeah,
Okay.
a little bit of honey
Cool.
and then a little bit of lime, and then we took the reserved juices and reduced them and put it back in to just coat
Gotcha.
the meat.
Yeah.
The
Sure.
chicken that we did similar, but this one actually used more fresh vegetables. We used fresh tomato, we used green chilies, a red bell pepper, an onion, garlic, again cumin of course, and a little bit of lime, and then that's all that we used in that. Slow cooked it.
What kind of chicken?
We use thighs. I'm going to tell you, people say, oh, well, breasts are the only thing that'll break down and shred like that. Forget about it.
I mean, breasts have their
great.
place, man. You grill a chicken breast, fantastic. But to me, if you're using a slow cooker, and you haven't tried it with thighs,
Yeah,
you're
missing out.
you're doing yourself a disservice because they stay moist and juicy and good, and they can hold up to that long cook process where the breast just kind of
they dry out and they're not good. So we've got all of the sides: pico de gallo,
Yeah,
two
pico.
types, sriracha aioli, olives, mushrooms, lettuce,
You get
cheese.
beans, got our,
We've got everything to put it in some kind of delivery vessel.
please God, tell me that you bought some type of delivery vessel.
Well, let's see. I bought hard shells, taco shells, your basic corn hard shell, right? I also bought soft corn shells,
Okay.
soft fajita-sized flour shells,
Okay.
soft fajita-sized burrito shells.
Okay.
So we can.
Is that
put
it?
That's all I got this time.
That'll.
I figured that 4 different varieties, and I've got blue chips. If you wanted to make yourself a nice taco salad, so you could. We've got variety of ways to make this, and so it doesn't. Taco Tuesday does not just have to be ground beef, shredded iceberg, and that's not even iceberg. We just went with romaine. You can use. I've used all kinds of stuff: arugula, radicchio. You can use anything you want.
What you like, man.
But yeah, we just use romaine for simplicity tonight. But it doesn't have to be ground beef, iceberg, bad taco shells, and metallic cheese.
Okay, so I'm guessing at this point, all we have left to do is we got to heat up the shells a little bit. You always don't ever use them like from the fridge or
No.
room to have this. No, just put the oven on, pop them in there for a couple minutes.
It kind of gives them a little bit of elasticity so that they'll roll up.
and then we get to eat.
We're just going to throw down.
Okay, can we please do that?
Let's do it.
This smells really good.
Yes, time to eat.